Mint 21 has just been released, and I've decided to take a look at it. So here's my review of Linux Mint 21, Vanessa. Right off the bat, I noticed the Windows 7 style desktop metaphor. It's certainly familiar to most people, and that's something that Linux Mint strives for, familiarity. I did however tweak my setup to look more like the Windows 95 through Vista desktop metaphor. I just personally prefer that to the big icons on the taskbar. Linux Mint supports a few themes. A light theme, a dark theme, which has multiple color variants, and some old school themes. Personally, I'm not the biggest fan of them, but they look decent enough. Playing around with the Cinnamon desktop, I noticed that the panel made use of panel applets. I particularly found the desktop switcher applet to be pretty neat, and I kinda prefer it to Plasma stock Plasmoid, which is the desktop that I'm currently using. I also thought that it was kinda cool that they included, interesting sounding sound effects for almost everything. Oh my God. And while I didn't find the sound effects to my liking, you can thankfully change them or disable them entirely from the settings. Ease of use is my biggest takeaway in my 1 week using this operating system. I tried my best not to use the command line, and while there was that one time that I needed to use it for something incredibly niche, for anything 99% of people would do, I didn't really need to use it at all. I was able to get most of my software through the software manager. I like that the software manager is specified when a package was from Flatpak instead of from the repos. However, I would like it just to be a tad more obvious where the software is coming from, even if a new user might not know what Flatpak is. All the software that I personally needed was available either through the software manager, or it ran well under Wine if I needed something that was Windows specific, like Guitar Pro. Gaming on this distro has been a breeze. I was able to easily set up Steam, and the Windows games that I tried through Proton, Steam's compatibility layer for Windows games on Linux, worked well enough. There were a few stutters here and there, but that could be either from shaders compiling in the background or from Proton doing its conversion thing. But other than that, it's been smooth sailing for games that have a good rating on ProtonDB. I'm not really a fan of running games that aren't known to run well with Proton, so for those games, your mileage may vary. Honestly, apart from the looks not being exactly my cup of tea, there's really no complaints that I have with this distro. I guess some people would be bothered by the long-term release, long-term support cycle that Linux Mint uses, given that you don't get the latest and greatest software unless you install it through a PPA or through Flatpak, but I'm not personally worried about that. It's been the easiest Linux distro I've ever used by a country mile. It honestly made me consider distro hopping to this, but not sure if I'd like the look and feel in the long run. This was a positive experience for me, and I think this distro is well worth considering if you're thinking about using an alternative to Windows or Mac OS. Anyway, that's all I have for today. Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.